Namaste. Today I'm going to read Volume 4, Book 5, UmaSamhita, Chapter 38, from Satyavrata to Saghara in the Shiva Puran. Hari Om Tat Sat. By his devotion to Vishwamitra, his compassionate nature, and his vow, Satyavrata nurtured and looked after Vishwamitra's wife. O sage, he killed deer, boars, and buffaloes of the forest, and he cast off their flesh near the hermitage of Vishwamitra. In virtue of his being the priest and the teacher, the sage Vashishta looked after the holy centers, cows, clans, and the harem. Vashishta nursed more and more grudge against Satyavrata, forced by the gravity of what was destined to happen. Vashishta had not prevented the father from exiling the son from the kingdom because there was sufficient cause for the same. When the seventh step is taken round the fire in the altar, the marriage becomes valid. But Satyavrata did not understand the secret. Only for the satisfaction of his father did he do the same, thinking that the family customs should remain unviolated. When he was abandoned by his father, Vashishta did not interfere on his behalf. The sage proclaimed that he would never install him in this kingdom. During the 12 years of famine and drought, Satyavrata observed his vow. When there was no meat available, the prince saw the wish-yielding cow of Vashishta, or sage, the king who observed the 10 tenets of dharma, killed the cow either due to anger or greed or exhaustion or hunger. The meat of the same he utilized to feed Vishwamitra's son. On hearing of it, the sage Vashishta became angry and said, Vashishta said, if the 2 iron stakes thrust by me fail, I shall fix another cruel one. Your transgression is threefold. You have displeased your father, killed the cow of your preceptor, and used things unsprinkled with holy water. He called him Trisanku, and even since he is known as Trisanku, when Vishwamitra returned, he was pleased with Trisanku for having maintained his family during his absence. When pressed to choose a boon, the prince chose it. When there was drought for 12 years, he had helped his family. Therefore, the sage anointed him in the kingdom of his father and officiated as priest in his coronation. Even as the gods and Vashishta were watching, the saintly Lord Vishwamitra made him ascend heaven in his physical body. His wife, Satyarata, hailing from the family of Kikayas, bore him a son who was named Harishchanda. That king Harishchanda is known as Tresankava. He is famous as the performer of the Rajasuya sacrifice and as an emperor. Harishchandra's son Rohita was famous. Rohita's son was Vraka, and Bahu was born of Trika. Hayas and Tala Janghas removed that king. O Brahmin, he was very virtuous. Bahu begot a son. Saghara was born with poison. Reaching the hermitage of Ayurva, he was saved by Bhargava. Securing fairy missiles from Bhargava, King Saghara conquered the earth after killing Tala Janghas and Hayas. He defeated Sakas, Bahudakas, Paradhas, Taghanas, and Kasas. He established a good religious cult and ruled over the earth virtuously. Saunaka said, how was he born with poison? How did he conquer the Kshatriyas? O son of Suta, please narrate this in detail. Suta said, O sage, listen with attention. I shall narrate what Vesampayana said on being asked by Janamejaya, son of Parikshita. Parikshita said, O sage, how was the king born with poison? How did he kill the kings? Please narrate this. Vesampayana said, O dear, O lord of the subjects, the kingdom of Bahu, who indulged in vices, was captured by Hehayas and Talajangas, and the Sakas. 5 groups of Rakshasas are mentioned. There's Yavanas, Paradhas, Kambojas, Palavas, and Bahudakas. O king, these 5 groups of Rakshasas, pursuing activities of exploit on behalf of the Hehayas, seized the kingdom of Bahu and gave it to the Hehayas. Having lost the kingdom, Bahu went to the forest along with his wife. Distressed that he abandoned his life. One of his wives, belonging to the house of Yadu, followed him in pregnancy. Due to jealousy as a result of her expected son, before her, the co-wife administered poison to her. She made the funeral pyre of her husband ready and was about to enter the fire. Ayurva Bhargava mercifully prevented her. The queen stayed in the hermitage for the sake of her child in the womb. She served the sage, mentally remembering Shiva. Once, when the Muhurta and the Lagna were good, when the 5 planets were ascendant, the child was born along with the poison administered to the queen. In that auspicious Lagna, or excellent sage, the king Saghara of mighty arms was born. Ayurva performed the postnatal rites of that prince. He taught him Vedas and Sastras and instructed him in the use of missiles. The blessed Saghara earnestly learnt the law of the fiery missile in accordance with the rules of procedure, the missile that is unbearable even to the gods. The infuriated Sagaras, equipped with this miraculous and other weapons, and with his own natural strength, killed the Hehayas. This Sagara became foremost among the famous, earned fame in all the worlds, and established piety on the earth. Then the Sakas, Yavanas, Kambojas, and Palavas, being destroyed, sought refuge in Vashishta. After deceitfully compelling them to enter into an agreement, Vashishta of great brilliance offered them freedom from fear and brought them to King Sagara. At the instance of his priest, Sagara maintained his vow by destroying their mode of worship and effecting alterations in their hairstyle. He released the Sakas after shaving off half of their heads. Complete tonsure was assigned to Yavanyas and Kambojas. Parahadas were given close haircut, and Palavas were asked to grow beard and mustache. All of them were deprived of the right of the Vedic study and the use of Vasatkara. All those Kshatriyas who had been deprived of virtue were reinstated in piety. The entire earth was conquered by him virtuously. Thus conquered the earth virtuously, the king instituted a horse sacrifice. O sage, the sacrificial horse was let loose, followed by his 60,000 sons. It reached the shore of the ocean in the southeastern region. It was steadily removed by Indra, king of the gods, for his selfish ends near the seashore, and taken underground. In order to search out the horse, King Sagara caused the country around dug up through his sons. While it was being dug near the ocean, they met the sage Kapila, the primordial Purusa of cosmic form. As he woke up from trance, all but 4 of the 60,000 suns were burnt by the fire from his eyes. The 4 who were spared were Harsaketu, Suketu, Dharmarata, and Pankajhana. They became the kings, establishing his line. Lord Vishnu granted him 5 boons, viz. Flourishing family, intelligence, fame, the ocean as son, and wealth. By that virtue he attained the fatherhood of ocean. He regained the sacrificial horse from the ocean, became famous. He acquired wealth bestowed by Shiva. He appropriated the deities by performing the sacred rites. Footnotes. Let's see. "31. Kekayas lived between the Jhilam and the Bhis and had their capital as Girivraja, Girijak or Jalalpur on the Jhilam. 32. These constituted one of the 5 clans of Hehayas, and the other 4 being Vitiyotra, Bhoja, Avanit, and Tunikera. 33. Hehayas formed a branch of the Yadavas who ruled at Mahismati, which is Mandata in the Nimar district on the Narmada River. 34. The original home of the Sakas was the valleys of the Jaxartis and Oxus, but they had settled in India after they had conquered the country. 35. Paradhas are identical with the Parthains who lived in the Khorassan region. 36. The Thaganas or Tanghanas had their headquarters at Tanghana Pura near Jyoti Mata in Gharwal. 37. According to Al-Biruni, the Khasas were a Himalayan tribe now represented by the Khakas of Kashmir. 38. Yavanas are identical with the Indo-Greeks who settled in the northwestern part of India and adjoining lands. 40. Kambojas lived in the land between the Rajayuri Valley in Kashmir and the Hindu Kush mountains. Some scholars locate the tribe near Badakhshan beyond the Hindu Kush. 41. Pallavas or the Pahlavis are identical with the Persians. 42. Bahudhakas remained identified. And here ends today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Hari Om Tat Sat.